From high Earth orbit, the Himalayas reveal one of the most hostile terrain cuts on the planet, the Chenab River Gorge. Deep within this abyss, daily valley life continues in silence, while heavy passenger trains charge across a steel sky 359 meters above. To master this gap, engineers transformed raw physics into a blueprint designed to withstand nature's absolute limits. Standing 35 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower, this structure spans nearly half a kilometer without a single support pillar in the river below. High-strength steel members are locked together under violent mountain crosswinds, where millimeter errors mean catastrophic structural failure. But this bridge wasn't just built against gravity. It was forced into a violent seismic zone where shifting tectonic plates constantly threaten the foundations. In 2008, sheer mountain instability and cracking cliffs triggered a total shutdown, freezing the world's most dangerous mega project in its tracks. Geological teams inspect fractured Himalayan bedrock, while loose blocks above the gorge reveal why this mountain cannot be trusted. Bulldozers carve narrow access roads into vertical cliffs, where loose spoil and failing edges threaten machinery approaching the gorge. Controlled blasts split dense dolomite, but each shock must stay inside the prepared bench and away from unstable slopes. Tracked excavators clear blasted rock from benches, while fresh scree slides toward lower foundation excavations below them dangerously. Rotary rigs bore anchor holes through fractured rock, exposing wet fissures where groundwater seepage reaches the open excavation. Hydraulic rock bolt rigs drive steel tendons into the mountain, locking unstable rock joints before they move toward the excavation. Grout pumps fill the anchor holes under pressure, while drainage seepage runs down the freshly stabilized cliff face nearby. Shotcrete pumps bury steel mesh beneath fresh protective concrete, while wind and rebound dust obscure the steep work face. Workers secure wire mesh with rock bolts, but cross-gorge wind catches every loose panel before final anchors lock. Wet core samples expose a weak fault zone beneath the bench, forcing geotechnical teams to reassess the support design. Monitoring prisms and geotechnical sensors measure microscopic slope movement, while survey teams verify the cliff remains stable under load. After the review, excavators resume controlled rock removal, while fragments from upper benches still threaten lower work levels. Hydraulic breakers pulverize stubborn dolomite, yet vibration shakes dust from newly cut walls surrounding the excavation below them. Rotary drill rigs open horizontal drainage holes, releasing trapped groundwater before pressure builds behind the stabilized slope treatment. Shotcrete pumps add a final protective layer, while curing blankets protect fresh slope treatment from cold mountain conditions. Rock bolt rigs install deep tiebacks, then tensioned anchor heads lock the steep mountain face against continued movement above. Drilling machines cut keyway recesses into sound bedrock, while dewatering pumps clear water from the future arch abutment. Laser total stations check foundation bench elevation, while reflective targets verify the exact geometry required for the arch abutment. Loaded dump trucks carry spoil along narrow cliff roads, where soft shoulders crumble beneath heavy payloads near the ravine. Dewatering pumps evacuate groundwater from foundation trenches, while rain runoff races down the slope toward lower excavation levels. Workers tension final tiebacks into steep mountain slopes, while drill rigs balance on narrow benches above the abutment excavation. The mountain benches are stabilized, but exposed bedrock now waits for foundations massive enough to carry the steel arch. Crawler cranes lower dense rebar cages into the arch footing, where sound bedrock must receive the bridge's immense thrust. Concrete pumps fill the abutment forms with self-compacting concrete, flowing through dense reinforcement without vibration or trapped voids. Inspectors watch the concrete spread through every rebar layer, ensuring the massive foundation hardens as one continuous structural block. Thermal sensors enter the fresh footing because rapid mountain temperature change can crack concrete long after the pour ends. Climbing formwork rises around approach piers, turning raw mountain foundations into vertical supports for the future railway alignment. Concrete pumps push high-strength material upward through vertical lines, where pressure and delivery timing control every elevated pier pour. Steel anchor assemblies enter the unfinished pier caps, and lasers protect the millimeter geometry needed for future superstructure seating. Each reinforced concrete pier climbs higher, while wind loads test temporary bracing before the permanent structure reaches full strength. Crawler cranes raise pre-assembled rebar sections, and tag lines stop each suspended cage from twisting beside the open excavation. Steel box pier shells now rise above their concrete bases, creating precise forms for the approach viaduct's self-compacting concrete. Concrete fills each steel shell from below, where uninterrupted flow prevents hidden gaps inside the finished structural pier. Laser levels and hydraulic braces correct tiny deviations before the tall pier becomes permanently locked into alignment. Across the gorge, both arch abutment bases cure under insulation, while mountain shadows drive rapid temperature changes across their surfaces. Embedded steel plates are fixed inside the abutments, defining the exact geometry that will receive the steel arch thrust. Climbing cranes lift the next formwork level, but gusting wind can halt every high-altitude movement without warning. Concrete test cubes enter the site laboratory, proving that each mountain pour reaches the required structural strength. Dense shear reinforcement fills hollow approach piers, preparing the concrete structure for severe seismic forces in Zone 5. Mixer trucks climb narrow switchbacks because delayed concrete can lose the workability required by the mountain pumps. Insulation blankets protect fresh abutment surfaces as cold night air threatens the concrete curing process. Separate approach piers now line both ridges, but temporary bracing still resists wind before any deck connects them. Crawler cranes lower steel pier cap assemblies onto concrete supports, where survey instruments control their temporary seating elevation. The abutments and approach piers are ready, but the impossible steel arch has not entered the gorge yet. Crawler cranes assemble the 127-meter cable crane pylons, creating the only lifting system capable of crossing this Himalayan void. Strand jacks pull the track ropes across 359 meters of air, where wind can whip every cable sideways. Heavy winches tension the main cableway lines over steel sheaves, forcing both mountain pylons to carry enormous horizontal loads. Empty motorized trolleys cross first, proving that sag, alignment, and wind response remain within safe lifting limits. Meanwhile, mountain workshops fabricate the steel arch box sections that will eventually become the bridge's impossible spine. Automated welding heads fuse thick structural plates, where heat distortion can ruin the geometry long before the steel reaches the gorge. Phased array. Ultrasonic testing scans each critical weld, exposing hidden flaws before any arch segment leaves the workshop. Blast cleaning strips the raw steel, then corrosion-resistant coating protects every finished component against decades of Himalayan exposure. Full-scale trial fit-ups bring huge arch sections together, confirming their bolt holes and connection geometry before field erection begins. Multi-axle transporters haul each finished steel component through narrow mountain switchbacks toward the two cliff edge assembly sites. The cable crane now carries a heavy approach deck truss across open air, while guide ropes fight wind-driven pendulum movement. Derrick cranes on the incomplete deck lower girders into position, extending the steel pathway toward the main gorge. Hydraulic launching jacks push the deck forward in tiny increments, where uncontrolled cantilever deflection can overload the approach supports. Guide rollers carry massive point loads, while survey lasers maintain the deck's precise horizontal path across the incomplete piers. Synchronized winches lower another steel truss module through fog, where operators must keep the load from rotating above the gorge. Temporary stay cables are adjusted as sunlight expands the steel deck and changes forces inside the unfinished structure. Derrick cranes advance along the new deck, testing every freshly bolted connection beneath their concentrated construction loads. Temporary cross bracing locks the open approach girders together before sudden Himalayan wind shear can move the steelwork. Impact wrenches secure high-strength friction grip bolts, turning separate steel plates into a rigid deck splice connection. The launched approach deck reaches the cliff edge, but beyond it remains only a 359-meter void. Anemometers measure cross-gorge wind, while operators stop lifting operations whenever gusts exceed the cableway's safe working limit. The cableway is ready and the approach decks reach both cliffs, but the 467-meter arch has not entered the sky. Derrick cranes lower the first steel arch box segments from the advancing deck, extending the structure over the deep gorge. Strand jacks pull temporary stay cables tight, holding each cantilevered section before its own weight can rotate it downward. The cable crane delivers heavy arch sections through open air, where guide ropes stop crosswinds from twisting the load. Drift pins bring splice plates into position, while suspended steel continues moving slightly above the Chenab void. Impact wrenches lock high-strength friction grip bolts, turning individual steel boxes into a growing structural arch cord. Strand jacks then recalibrate upper stays because every new segment changes the forces inside the temporary support system. The incomplete arch reaches farther over the river, and its steel ribs now flex under construction loads high above water. Survey lasers track the arch tip because sunlight heats one steel cord while mountain shadow cools the other. On both cliffs, derrick cranes build matching arch halves toward a meeting point that still hangs in empty air. Hydraulic tie-back cylinders adjust the temporary stays as each new box segment pushes the cantilever balance further outward. Diagonal steel bracing joins the twin ribs, stiffening the open arch frame against cross-gorge wind movement. Cable trolleys lower internal cross members, while crews bolt them inside the unfinished archbox steelwork. Storm clouds enter the gorge, increasing vibration at the temporary arch tips and stopping sensitive lifting operations. After the wind eases, strand jacks make small corrections until both arch halves return to surveyed geometry. Inspectors recheck friction grip bolts because thermal movement can alter clamping force at critical steel splices. The two cantilevers now exert greater thrust on their rock-anchored abutments as the empty gap shrinks. Robotic total stations measure opposing arch tips to millimeter precision before the next tension correction begins. Differential stay cable adjustments remove tiny torsional errors that would multiply during the final crown closure. Derrick cranes advance onto the newest arch sections, adding controlled load to steel that is still cantilevered. Temperature sensors compare sunlit and shadowed web plates, tracking the asymmetric bowing that affects crown alignment. Twin steel arch halves now stand only meters apart, held over the river by temporary cables and calculation. The final gap is waiting, but first both halves must enter exactly the same geometric position. Cable cranes align the final crown section between two unfinished arch halves, where one misplaced movement ends the entire erection sequence. Hydraulic jacks push and pull opposing arch tips until survey targets confirm the millimeter geometry needed for closure. Laser systems scan the remaining gap because changing sunlight can expand steel enough to alter the crown alignment. Drift pins enter the splice plates, locking the suspended crown section before wind can move it again. Impact wrenches tighten friction grip bolts, permanently closing the 467-meter Chenab steel arch in April 2021. Strand jacks release temporary stay cable tension in stages, transferring force gradually into the new self-supporting arch. Temporary stays and erection rigging come down while the continuous steel arch carries its own weight across the gorge. Derrick cranes raise vertical spandrel columns from the closed arch, building the steel support system toward deck level. Cable cranes lower deck truss sections onto the spandrel columns, creating the structure that will carry the future railway. Gusset plates define each spandrel connection before bolting turns separate steel members into a rigid load path. High-strength bolts lock the deck splices, extending a continuous steel frame across the completed arch span. Steel deck trusses now connect the central arch to both mountain approaches, but the railway surface remains empty. Expansion joints enter the deck movement zones, allowing steel to respond safely to extreme Himalayan temperature changes. PAUT inspections scan the spandrel welds, checking hidden steel connections before the deck becomes permanently enclosed. Cranes place closed steel deck panels over the floor beams, sealing the open structural bays against mountain weather. Workers lock each steel panel into position, creating a continuous protected deck before any rail systems arrive. Protective coating covers fresh welds, guarding exposed load-bearing steel against long-term Himalayan atmospheric corrosion. Structural sensors enter the arch cords, ready to measure vibration, stress, and thermal movement throughout future railway operation. Derrick cranes are dismantled into modules, and the cableway lifts each component away from the completed steel frame. Beneath the deck, spandrel columns now carry load down into the 467-meter steel arch and mountain abutments. Survey teams audit the final deck axis, confirming alignment before the railway installation phase can begin. The arch and steel deck are complete, but the bridge still waits for rails, power, testing, and its first train. Rail laying equipment places continuous steel rails across the completed Chenab deck, 359 meters above the river gorge. Rail welding machinery joins every section into a smooth, continuous route for reliable railway operation across the exposed bridge. Electrification rigs install overhead masts and contact wires, creating the power system that finally turns steel into railway. Structural sensors enter the arch and deck, ready to record wind, strain, vibration, and thermal movement during operation. An instrumented test train approaches the bridge on completed rails, beginning the dynamic checks before passengers can cross. The test train rolls onto the main arch span while monitoring equipment records how the structure responds under moving loads. Wheels pass across continuous welded rail as trackside instruments capture axle movement and bridge response across the steel deck. The train crosses at controlled operating speed, while wind instruments confirm that conditions remain safe for railway service. In June 2025, a Vande Bharat Express enters the completed bridge, opening rail traffic across the Chenab Gorge. Inside, silent passengers look beyond the window at a depth once impossible to cross by railway. Far below, valley life continues while the new railway links Kashmir with India through all-weather mountain infrastructure. The train leaves the steel arch for the mountain railway beyond, while Chenab Bridge remains suspended above the river.
Next-gen Machine Works, building the impossible. Subscribe to join the future.